What's up, everyone? It's Matt Martin with the Grass Factor. So real quick, while I've got everything here, I'm gonna be doing an application on the yard today. The yard is loaded with fireweed and nutsedge. This is the first time I've never blanket spread it with Monument going into the summer. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be applying, the rates I'm gonna be applying, how I'm gonna be applying it, and we'll document the results. You see, what's often overlooked is that warm season grasses have a couple of things that they really like. And we most often look over this. Now, I'll give you a tip. It's not... So to keep things simple, I'm just using things I have laying around here. The first product I'm going to be using is, this is a Lesco 3-way 2,4-D dicamba Mecha Prop, pretty basic product. I'm going to be running this at 1 ounce per 1,000, and that's because it's 86 degrees outside right now. The other product I'm going to be applying is Sulfentrazone 4L. Sulfentrazone 4L is known for its ability to knock out sedges, and it will also have a kicker effect on the 3-way that I'm applying. So I'm going to be running 6 ounces to the acre of the sulfentrazone and 1 ounce per 1,000, or 43 ounces to the acre of the 3-way. So let's go ahead and get the application down. All right, so wrap that up. Again, low rate of 3-way, full rate basically of sulfentrazone. And I'll tell you a couple things I'm gonna be able to expect from this application, because we are going at 6 ounces to the acre. Nutsedge is gonna be fried. The American burnweed is gonna be fried. I'm probably gonna leave tire tracks in the lawn. I'm probably gonna discolor the tips of the Bermuda. Especially since it's going to be 90 the rest of the week with no rain in the forecast. It's going to ding the yard up a little bit, but in this instance, it'll ding it up a little bit, and as it begins to grow out 1-2 cuts, I'll cut all that off and it'll be as good as new. And then I'm going to follow it up with some more fertilizer, because we're at 5 weeks and color is just now really starting to respond. We're just now getting the temperatures for it, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this next application. Then once all this is cleaned up and all the damage from spraying the weeds is gone, I will put it under regulation. I'll start to spray my growth regulator. Don't want to jump too soon on it and then spray something that's going to damage the grass and have that linger longer than it needs to. So that's the plan. right, everyone, so I did what everyone tells you not to do. If you look on the sulfentrazone label, it says specifically, do not mow for 3 days after application. I applied 6 ounces to the acre of Dismiss. Less than 24 hours later, 18 hours later, I went ahead and mowed, and I'm beginning to see symptoms of what mowing looks like within 72 hours after an application of Dismiss. Let's take a look at it. If we look here up close, this is common Bermuda, less than 24 hours after the application, and you can see black spots forming on the leaf tip. Almost looks like disease in some fashion, but that is definitely not disease. That is a result of me spraying sulfentrazone at 6 ounces to the acre with low volume of carrier. But let's see how the weeds are responding to this type of application. So this area here is my highest concentration of American burnweed, and as you can see, it's already starting to look pretty gnarly between the 1 ounce rate of 3-way and the 6 ounce rate of Dismiss. Being, here we are, this is day number 2 after application. I'd say we're going to get a significant and a great kill on this particular weed. Now, I don't know if I said in my previous videos, but I did do some spot applicating of glyphosate, and I was putting it down at 1 teaspoon per gallon and treating some fescue clumps that were in the yard instead of using the sulfonylurea herbicide. And I wanted to show the effect that glyphosate at that rate, which would equate to about 16 ounces to the acre, had on Bermuda grass. And I'll show you some symptoms of where it was sprayed. I actually ended up pulling the clumps yesterday. They weren't completely dead, but they were extremely weak. Fescue clumps are typically hard to pull out of the yard. These came out with ease. So I'll show you what the symptoms look like as far as what the glyphosate did to the yard. If you look here, this spot, you can see it was thinned out. You can see the damage to the leaf blade. That damage to the leaf blade is because of the glyphosate. And while that area looks a little more pronounced, that's also in the shade. It doesn't get the sunlight. Let's look at something over here in full sun, more in the wide open, how that responded to it. So this area right here, there was a fescue clump there. You can see it pretty much was killed for the most part, and I was able to reel mow it, and that will likely finish off that clump. And you can see slight discoloration there lingering, but for the most part that has grown out. Now that's full sun, so you're going to have a higher growth response there than you would say in the shade, and this is probably why you see such a difference between this and how it looked over in the shade. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up. I wanted to show you the symptoms 48 hours after application of what it looks like. And this is 3 weeks after application of glyphosate on actively growing Bermuda. It is something that in the event you do have to do, understand it's a calculated risk to go out with something like glyphosate, but as you can see here in my experience, the damage is obviously not long lasting and is going to be okay. No issues there moving forward. So, all right, y'all, hope you learned something. Y'all have a good one. Take care.